Blink, or in this case, don't read and you just might miss it. Honkai Star Rail just put out a big developer radio, and it's big because of some things that you might miss through the cracks. Let's just say that. And in the midst of all this drama with Love and Deep Space, and if it's a Gooner game for women, or all the stuff going on with Genshin Impact, which I have a video coming out a little bit later today, this is released. And at first I read this and I kind of did it like I do with a lot of the dialogue going on with Honkai Star Rail. In the case of just reading it and just being like, whatever, just pass by. But there was something that I missed in here. We're going to talk about that here in a moment, but we're going to go over all of this developer radio, and then we're going to talk about the big things that are coming for this. So like, comment, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. If you haven't done so already, turn on that notification for me by clicking the bell. It'd be fantastic to see all you lovelies keep coming back for more content. So let's go ahead and dive in. Let's go ahead and dive into here. So we got the developer radio. Following the launch of version 3.0, the Express crew has received an array of feedback from Trailblazers during their exploration of the new world. Some of this feedback concerns issues with Trailblazers' experience with the story and exploration, which you would think, as going through this, that, oh, we're only going to talk about that, right? Hold on to your little chairs. Hold on to your asses, buckaroos. We got a bunch of stuff here. We'll be making adjustments and optimizations to address these issues with the aim of bringing Trailblazers smoother journey. First things first, we have received feedback from Trailblazers that Amphorius' main story contains excessive lore exposition and too much reading, resulting in feelings of fatigue and tedium. Amphorius has a complex design, and during development, we wanted to ensure that the information supporting it was as complete as possible. However, the result has presently failed to meet the Trailblazers' expectations. For people who don't know, if you haven't played through the main story, it's a big yap session, and that was a big thing with me as well, because in games, you don't want your dialogue over-encompassing your combat too much. And it felt as though that Honkai Star Rail was diving into more yapping and less doing. And a lot of people might fight that and say, but it's to build the story. And that is perfectly fine. I think that games having a 60 to 65% story while it's about 35 to 40% gameplay is good. I think that's a good and healthy balance. But when your game is about 90% talking and explaining and 10% combat, there seems to be a little bit of a problem. That, and if you have Acheron, most of your stuff becomes very easy. So that was the main problem with a lot of people, including myself. And people got mad about that. A lot of people got mad about that. I got so much hate for that for those comments, man. And I will stick behind it because this proves what I was talking about. In response to this feedback, we will address the root of the issue by reducing design-related explanations in the story. In upcoming versions, Trailblazers will have the option of skipping this content so that they may experience the main story in a more relaxed manner. Meaning that we actually just can skip all the extra dialogue that doesn't need to be there, and we can just go straight into the actual story of what is going on outside of just, explain the lore. We can just skip it. Taking 3.0 as an example to progress, the beginning of the story in Okuma contains a lot of dialogue and information on the end times, titans, Chrysos errors, and miracles. Following adjustments, Trailblazers will be able to choose whether to talk to relevant characters and obtain this information, which is great. It's going to come up as like a double dialogue thing, and you could just start out going. And then they give another example as well. We're just going to go ahead and skip that for the time being. At the same time, we also look to arrange and present missions in a more reasonable manner and reduce tedious narrative experiences like the black screen with white text. That, to me, is already a huge win. And the reason being is because you don't see anything, and it's literally just blank canvas, words on screen. This isn't Star Wars, right? You don't have the whole title card going down with the stars in the background. Like, nobody truly reads this stuff. And if they do, they get bored of it relatively easily. I'm just saying what everybody's thinking, or at least for the most part, because I don't want any of the other Honkai Star Rail lore nerds to get mad at me. I'm just saying that as somebody who does like lore, this was too much. It was too much at one time, in my personal opinion. Mission puzzle solving issue. The Euphorius main story contains some unique stage gameplay, and our aim was for Trailblazers to experience the rules and design of the world both through the content of the story and through this gameplay. However, in practice, we should have achieved a better balance between puzzle solving and story, with puzzles also containing too many steps. This too often resulted in puzzle solving interrupting the flow of the story and detracting from the experience. And to tackle this issue, we will optimize main story puzzle solving designs and provide simpler and more direct solutions for some puzzles. Taking 3.0 as an example, in the Bloodbath Battlefront, Castrum Kremnos Soul Forging Zone, Trailblazers must complete the drawn out task of, and they even say, drawn out task. They know, after all the stuff that we've complained about, they know it's a drawn out task. Just saying. Drawn out task of restoring 4 soul forging statues to piece together Nicodor's divinity. Following adjustments, Trailblazers will be able to choose to talk directly to, I can't remember, Gaius, I'm pretty sure I messed up that name, and complete the mission objective in a more Kremnon fashion. Basically, you'll just be able to challenge him directly. And at the same time, we will optimize the lengthy and complex math pathing of the main storyline's exploration. The overly concentrated enemy placements in certain areas will be reduced to prevent enemies from frequently interrupting map exploration and puzzle solving. This aims to enhance Trailblazers' experiences throughout the main storyline. For me, I didn't experience this too much because I just used Akron a lot. And it just, I will say, for people who don't have Akron, you might see more combat. And maybe that's me. Maybe that's me sabotaging myself in this way because I don't see a lot of combat. But at the same time, I'm also trying to get all the stuff and progress through the story. So then that way I could have a stream and be like, hey guys, here's the story. Here's what we're doing, so on and so forth. That type of thing. But I digress. I think that this does help in general, lowering the amount of enemies. However, it does hurt in some cases, because for people who are grinding for those materials, it's going to be a little bit tougher now. Now, to reduce any negative experience caused by the above issues and make sure that the overall quality meets everyone's expectations, we are continuing to polish and fine-tune upcoming versions of the game. Regarding existing content of version 3.0, we will proceed with aforementioned adjustments. We anticipate these adjustments will take effect after version 3.2. So this stuff will take a little bit of time, and that is fine. I want them to take their time on this so that we don't worry too much, right? So I am excited for that. But here is where the big news dropped. And it's a blink, and if you might miss it because you might just skip over this last part because some people just take this as the farewell. Let's talk about it. Euphorius is a year-long journey, and these story and puzzle-solving optimizations are just the beginning. The Express crew will continue to optimize content, and we're excited to bring everyone bigger and better journey experiences. To name some examples, we will be adding richer combat gameplay and challenge goals to the game. In addition, issues close to the Trailblazers' hearts, including difficulty deploying older characters on the battlefield and the strengthening of these older characters, are already on the schedule. Stay tuned for future content updates. Trailblazers. What does that mean? Well, there's 2 ways that they could do this. One is a very greedy way, and one is the way I think they should go. The greedy way, and a lot of people are scared that this might happen, and with Hoyoverse as a whole's track record, this would make some sense. Making characters upgrades being new characters. Now, we've seen this in things like Goddess of Victory Nike, which they do both of the suggestion or both of the ideas that I have in my brain of what could happen. So it's not like they just only do that. So just hear me out on this. Where, like, just recently, Mast, a previous character, just got a new character that is considered a little stronger, named Mast Romantic Maid. So yeah, we could see that, and we've seen it in Honkai Star Rail as it is with Don Hung and then Don Hung and Bybiter Lune. We've already seen that kind of. However, I don't think they're going to go this route, and the reason being is because there would be no reason to, right? They already make tons of money on some of these new characters, right? Honkai Star Rail is usually competing with Genshin Impact on making money. Usually. Now, before anybody gets mad at me and gets mad that I'm dissing Genshin Impact, You're going to hate the next video that I do. But it's the truth. Honkai Star Rail has competed with Genshin Impact on making a lot of money. So I don't think that the Honkai Star Rail development team, as good of people as they are, would do this. However, Honkai Impact 3rd does do this kind of. A little bit. However, the second thing that we think is more of an example of what Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle does. And I've seen a lot of, Dokkan tubers that play Honkai Star Rail use this term, EZA. Now, what does EZA mean? It's Extreme Z Awakening in Dokkan Battle. And what this does is you could level up your characters to a higher level with your abilities changed to be better. So in the sense of like, what's a good example? Like a Vegito card would, instead of getting 70% dodge off of normal attacks or, super attacks, they would be boosted up to an 80%. I don't know if a card actually has that right now, but I do know Vegito is a dodge card. I used to be a Dokkan tuber. I just couldn't remember a specific EZA. But you get the point. It boosts certain aspects like damage reduction or attack percentage, your super attack, all that stuff. So how could that be implemented in a way for Honkai Star Rail? Well, they could have a stage kind of like that where you get certain materials, and if you get the certain material, you could infuse it into the character and use some of I don't know, the buds or the calyxes stuff. You can use that to fuse it in there, and then boom, it unlocks extra paths where you get boosted crit rates, boosted crit damage. Your Jingyuen's damage is boosted off of the, little big golden boy that you summon, sorry, I'm stuttering, but I'm just throwing things out there. Your Kafka could tie you up even more, and, you turn into an exhibitionist because of it, with a ball gag and everything. I don't know, but I like the idea of introducing something like that into Honkai Star Rail, because, again, that's more end game content, right? You could go in and you could do these battles and hope for the best that you get these upgrades to these characters that are desperately needed so that they could be boosted up to the meta. Could you imagine Jingyuen becoming like one of the strongest erudition characters in the game? That'd be amazing. That would be amazing. Could you see Zella, right? Zella becoming stronger than Fei Zhao off of this? The sky's the limit with this type of thing, and I really do hope that Honkai Star Rail takes this as a good example of what to do. They really should look into what Dokkan Battle does with their stuff in this case. In my opinion, I like what Dokkan Battle does with Extreme Z Awakenings, because it really shows that you could bring older units back from the grave and show that they could still rock it, right? And they're even in like super Extreme Z Awakening type stuff, which is beyond convoluted. It's crazy to me. Like, it's cool. It's cool. It brings those characters into the meta, but it's insane to me, right? But I'm not gonna go into that tangent. Overall, I am excited for what this is going to bring to Honkai Star Rail. Now, do we know when this is gonna come out? No. We only know that after 3.2, we're gonna get those story adjustments. The fact that they're telling us this right now makes me think that it's gonna be just before probably the Fate Stay Night collab. That's my guess. But if you had to guess, let me know in the comments down below what you think is going to happen and when this is going to be implemented. Are you excited for the story changes that are coming to Honkai Star Rail, or are you more excited for the fact that we might get boosted characters? Let me know. Comments down below. Once again, this is Tyser signing off. Thank you so much, and we will see you in the next episode. Please take care and be safe.